Hi guys, and welcome to the Awesome Family Adventure 6 YouTube channel. Today is episode 18, and today we have someone very special that we're going to be interviewing today. Hey.
My name is Kyle Steinhauser. I'm here as Noah's guest.
And he and Kyle has went to 9 theme parks this summer. Now, were they all at the same trip, or were they spread out?
It was actually 4 separate trips. And then the last one's kind of the local park, so that one's not really a trip. So I did 5 on one trip, the local park, and then 3 separate trips to hit those last ones up.
Nice. Okay, so let's think about the first one you went to. So the first one on our list is Kennywood. So, how was it?
It was pretty good. So this one's in Pittsburgh. That was on my big trip. So it took me about 3 hours to get there. It was pretty nice. I met up with a coworker, so I had someone to ride with. It's more of like a family-friendly type park, a lot of stuff for kids, but they did have a couple pretty good rides and a good set of coasters there.
Okay, was it fun?
Yeah, I got through pretty much everything on my list I wanted to. I want to say, maybe 15 things or so. 2 really good coasters, a few other kind of walk-through areas that are pretty unique to Kennywood, a couple other rides. It was overall pretty fun.
What did you ride?
So my favorite 2 was the Steel Curtain, and then I had the Phantom's Revenge. That one was pretty cool because they used the hills to their advantage, so a lot of the rides, they're kind of going downhill when you don't expect it. Some of them even go downhill before it even goes up the lift hill, so pretty unique stuff. And Steel Curtain was a really good ride. It was the highest inversion in the world, I think, at least when it came out. Most inversions in North America.
Nice. What part do you recommend this park?
Yeah, definitely worth going if you've never been there before. If you've been there a few times, if you're like a thrill enthusiast, there's only a few that you'd really go back for. But definitely worth going once. Definitely a kid-friendly park, and a lot of introductory coasters for kids that aren't ready for the big ones. There's a lot of stuff for them there as well.
Is there any reason you didn't like this park?
I don't think so. It was overall a pretty good experience.
Good. Okay, so what would you rate it out of 10?
I'll give it a solid 7.
7? Okay. The next park on our list is King's Dominion.
Yep, so this one was stop number 2. It's in Richmond, Virginia. And it took me maybe 5 hours to get there from the Kennywood area.
So how was it?
That one was pretty good. So we'll talk about this later, but it's a sister park of Kings Island, so they're fairly similar layouts. They got a few new rides recently, and I enjoyed the overall experience there as well.
Was it fun?
Yeah, so I was actually there I got there about mid-afternoon, stayed till close, and then went the next day for about half a day. So I got through, again, everything on my list. I want to say maybe 16 rides, something like that, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. Very fun.
Oh, also in Kennywood, I forgot to ask you, what did you eat there?
There I went to I forget what it was called, but it was in the Steelers country area. I had like a barbecue burger and some fries, so it was a pretty good burger, actually. Very, very big pretzel bun.
Okay, so now what did you eat at King's Dominion?
There I actually had one of those jumbo turkey legs. I've never had one of those before, so that was pretty good. And I think I had another, maybe a brisket or something like that as a meal the other day.
Okay, what did you ride?
So they had a pretty good coaster selection. I'd call it a good top 4. They had a new one this year. It was called Tumbly. It's one of those 4D spinners, so that one was pretty good. They have one called Twisted Timbers, which is an RMC. It's pretty cool how coming out of the lift hill goes right into an inversion. The other one they had there, actually this one used to be at the Geauga Lake Six Flags in Ohio. It's now at King's Dominion, called the Dominator. It's floorless. It goes upside down a few times right at the front of the park. And then my favorite one was the Intimidator 305. This one is over 300 feet, 305 to be exact, of course.
Okay.
And it's actually one of the most intense rides I've ever ridden because the turns are so tight at the bottom and low to the ground. There's so much G-force. You kind of start to lose your vision. It's what they call gray out a little bit. So I've never experienced that before.
That's right. That ride's known to do that.
Yeah.
Do you recommend this park?
Oh yeah, for sure. That was very, very nice scenery. Definitely a good top 4, like I said. Also some other, coaster rides, some other family rides there as well. So overall, highly recommended.
Did you not like anything about it?
So I'm pretty tall, so the Flight of Fear seats, I can barely fit in that, so my knees were a little uncomfortable, but the ride was still fun.
Okay. So, what would you give it out of 10?
I'll give that one a good 8.
Okay. The next park we have is Carowinds.
Yep, so this one is technically in both North Carolina and South Carolina, just south of the Charlotte area. And that one took me maybe another 4 hours to get down there.
Well, you've been driving for a long time. How was it?
That one, so I was planning on going 2 days, but I only ended up going once. The reason was it was extremely hot the day I went, so the lines were very short and I got through pretty much everything I wanted. But overall, other than it was honestly a little tough to get through the day because it was so hot, but I got through it and got through everything I wanted and it was pretty fun.
Was it fun?
Yeah, so compared to the other one so far, it's a little bit more high-end coasters, I'd say, a little more thrill rides. And like I said, I did have to mentally persevere to get to all that I wanted to, but it had a really good, probably top 4 or 5 coasters.
Nice. What did you eat?
There they actually had a really nice indoor pavilion with probably 5 different fast casual type spots. I know I want to say maybe some pulled pork sandwich and some mac and cheese or something like that. But on that day, it was really nice to sit in the air conditioning for a bit and recover kind of midday.
Nice. What did you ride?
Yep, so that one, I started the day going to Fury 325. It's been the award winner for the top steel coaster for a number of the past few years now. That one is, of course, 325 feet, very comfortable seats. I rode that 3 times to start the day, hit up the front, middle, and back. And that was a really great ride. It's got a pretty cool treble clef design that is pretty unique at the end where it goes out and back. Other than that, there was one called Copperhead Strike. It has a barrel roll right out of the platform. A lot of pauses during some loops, so pretty unique experience. They had an inversion one called Afterburn, pretty good inverted ride there. And they had one that's just called the Intimidator, which is a good hypercoaster, I believe.
Not the same as the Intimidator over at...
Right, yeah, so Intimidator 305 is a little taller, a little more intense. This one's a little more just for the air time, but they are both themed after Dale Earnhardt.
Okay.
Jr.
Do you recommend this park?
Yeah, I think I probably would have enjoyed it a little more if it wasn't so hot, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. Definitely top 4 or 5 rides they can compete with pretty much any park in the country, I'd say. And overall, it's a lot of concrete there. It was pretty hot, but for the rides and just the overall experience, definitely worth going to.
Is there anything you didn't like?
Just because it was really hot that day. And at least the crowds, like I said, it was pretty much walk-ons all day. It just didn't have as much like scenery as some of the others. They did have like a carnival theme, which was okay. But King's Dominion, I think, did a little better job with the theming that they had.
Okay, then what would you rate it?
I'll give that an 8 again. The ride's a little better than the previous 2, but the rest was maybe King's Dominion made up for that on the theming and the scenery there.
Our next park is Dollywood. Okay, so how was it?
Yeah, so Dollywood was pretty good. That was probably another 2-3 hours to get up to that one. I got there, just spent one day there. They did have a good selection of rides. Of course, they have great scenery, great stores and shops and things like that. Overall, definitely lived up to my expectations, maybe even exceeded them a little bit.
Was it fun?
Yeah. So the day I went, the ride lines weren't too long, so I got through everything at least once again. They did have probably a good, I'd say, top 3 rides, and some other ones that were pretty good as well. My favorite was called Lightning Rod, another RMC, kind of launches you up the hill, comes down over some bumps down the mountainside, so that one's pretty cool. And that one had a single rider line, so I got on pretty quickly.
Nice. So what did you eat?
There I had, they have a grist mill, so I got the cinnamon bread, because I read on the blog, you gotta get it if you go there. And it was really, really fresh. It was pretty good size, and I was pretty hungry, so I ate that pretty quickly. Also had, again, some barbecue.
Okay, so what did you ride?
So other than Lightning Rod, I rode all the coasters there. Even they had some kiddie ones, or kind of some tweeners. So there was one, I forget what the name of it is, but it's like a fire engine, and it goes both forward and backwards, so that was actually pretty cool. They got a wing coaster that kind of goes into the forest called Wild Eagle. That was pretty good as well. One of my favorite wooden coasters I've actually ever ridden was there, called Thunderhead. It kind of was popping on my seat a little bit, so that one was definitely better than I thought it would be.
Okay, do you recommend this park?
Yeah, for sure. So not only is the area nice, being close to like the Smoky Mountains there, very touristy and Pigeon Forge, but the park itself, again, great theming, pretty cool being in the mountain. They've been adding some more coaster rides in the last few years. They got a pretty good new one coming out next year. So again, definitely, I'm glad I went.
Was there anything about this park you didn't like?
I don't think so. You got to definitely prepare to be walking a little bit uphill if you want to get everywhere, but other than that, it's pretty navigatable.
Okay, so out of 10, how much would you rate this park?
I'm gonna have to give this one an 8.5, but only because I didn't mention this yet, but I got lucky when I was there. I got to see Dolly Parton in person going through this little one-person parade. She came to the park that day. I don't think she comes a whole lot from what I heard, so I got lucky on that one, but it was pretty cool.
Okay. So the next one you went to was Kings Island.
Yeah, so that one's just outside of Cincinnati. Probably took me, I stopped in Lexington on the way up for one night, and then I made my way up there, so total probably another maybe 4 or 5 hours.
It's weird because for us it's about 3 hours.
Yep. So then after I went there, I made the final 3 hours all the way back up.
Okay. So, how was it?
Kings Island was good. So I did go there once last year, about this time. So I rode pretty much all the rides then. But I went back to see what the 50th celebration would be, 50th anniversary, and also ride my top 5 rides I got to do again. So overall, it was a Saturday, so it was a little bit busy, but it was still pretty fun and enjoyable.
Do you see how large their Planet Snoopy is?
Yeah, they do have a really nice kiddie area.
Yeah.
I did ride, I think it's called the Flying Acer for the first time.
A Flying Ace aerial race?
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I kept checking it all day because I figured I've never done it, and it was a long line, but right at the end, when everyone started going home, I got on it pretty quickly, so I got to do it after all.
Nice. Was it a good inverted coaster?
Yeah, it was, for like being in that area of the park, it was pretty good.
Nice. Okay, so what did you eat?
There, let's see, I think I was gonna go to the Mexican place, but I ended up getting, I honestly think it was some more barbecue. I do like barbecue.
Did you go to the Coney Island barbecue?
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh,
yeah,
that place
that's
is
good.
Amazing. I forgot to ask you this, but was it fun?
Yeah, I got to do, I think I was planning on doing at least 5 rides. I ended up doing maybe 8 or so, a few I've never done before. Definitely did, I think they got a good top 5 coasters, and then I really enjoyed the 50th celebration show as well.
Nice. What did you ride?
So I did the drop tower, I did the racer, I did the one we mentioned, the flying, what was it called?
Flying Ace aerial chase?
Yeah, that one. Then I did the Beast, which is of course a classic. It was kind of hot that day. Someone actually kind of passed out in line, so they didn't let them ride, but I was all right. Then I did Mystic Timbers, pretty good mud and wooden one. Orion, is a pretty smooth Giga coaster as well. And then Diamondback, pretty good steel. I was sitting kind of in the back, and I rode this last year, but for some reason, the time I rode it a couple months back, I was just like flying out of my seat. It was pretty cool. And then I finished the night with Banshee, which is a really great inverted coaster.
Nice. To me, the first drop kind of looks like Raptor here at Cedar Point.
Yeah, it is similar.
You see that?
Yeah, I compare those. Raptor's a little bit more speedier and intense, but Banshee has a little bit more unique inversions and a little bit more length on it.
Okay, do you recommend this park?
Oh yeah, so similar to King's Dominion, again, they're sister parks. I did get to go on the Eiffel Tower finally. I didn't get to go at King's Dominion, but I got to go at King's Island, so I got some good shots from up there. But yeah, with the 50th celebration, they do have a lot of good scenery, pretty walkable park, good coaster lineup. So yeah, very good park to go to.
Is there anything about this park you did not like?
Not really, just that it was a little more crowded, so my waits were longer compared to the rest of the trip, but for a Saturday, wasn't too bad.
Nice. Okay, so what would you rate this park?
I'll give that one an 8 as well.
Wow.
Actually, let's go 8.5. Because that show with the drones at the end was pretty cool.
The fireworks?
Yeah, they had fireworks on the left of the Eiffel Tower, drones on the right. It's about, I'd say, maybe a 15-minute presentation. And it was pretty unique. I've never seen a show like that before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the next one on our list is Hersheypark.
Yeah, so this one I actually took a bus trip. So we left at I think it was 3 or 4 in the morning, and then got back around 6 in the morning. So about a 27-hour trip. I didn't sleep as well on the bus as I was hoping, but it was worth it.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so how was it?
Pretty good. So it was on, I think, a Thursday. So the crowds were decent. It wasn't like walk-ons, but it wasn't like super busy. It was some of the longer waits I've had out of these different parks. So several times I had to wait close to an hour. Others were pretty short, but they had a really good variety of rides, and I really just enjoyed kind of seeing what the park had to offer.
Just something funny. Did you ride Candemonium?
Oh yeah.
Do you know there are rumors that ride's actually made out of chocolate?
I haven't heard that before.
Mm-hmm. But they use high-tech technology to make it not melt in the sun.
Oh, that'd be smart. Because if it melts, they could have some injuries. That would not be good.
Okay, so was this park fun?
Yeah, it was a little more hilly than I thought, but it was a very nice layout. They had the water park kind of in the middle, and we got to go kind of the back stretch to hit a few rides up. But I think I did maybe close to 15 coasters or something like that. A few of them were down for part of the day, but I got to do everything on my list. I did one time exactly. So I wish I would have been able to do a few repeats, because the other parks I didn't mention, like Kennywood, King's Dominion, Carowinds, Dollywood, I did all my favorites at least twice. But here I did everything at least once, so I was still glad I got to do everything.
Okay. What did you eat?
There, you might be surprised, but I got some barbecue. I think it was...
I don't think I am that surprised.
I think it was pulled pork, and it was actually decent portions. Although if you ever go with 2 people, it's better to get the 2 people meal, because it would have been greater value.
So, just saying, what was your favorite barbecue?
Let's see, I'm trying to think. Whenever I had...
I mean, on the parks that we've done.
Yeah, I think it was either Dollywood or Carowinds, actually. I forget what I had there exactly. I think it was maybe a brisket sandwich. That was some pretty good food right there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I just remembered Hersheypark. I got like a half chicken, so that was good because I was pretty hungry. I waited till like 7 o'clock because I was trying to do all the rides, so I was starving by then.
I asked you that because you kind of ate a lot of barbecue. So what did you ride?
So I did the coasters. There's they got a good inversion one there. Only goes upside down a few times, but it was still pretty smooth. They got a few introductory rides. The new one this year was a rethemed Jolly Rancher remix, so it's a boomerang. Kind of go through, they get different flavors each ride, and you could even smell the smoke. Kind of almost smells and tastes like Jolly Rancher.
Tastes?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it.
Did you ride did you ride mixed?
Yeah, so that was right next to that one. I've never seen a ride like that before, so I did ride mixed. It was interesting because it goes through one cycle. You get on the bottom, it kind of goes like this and rotates, and then you end up on the top. So you kind of get to ride it twice.
What's kind of funny is that I'm surprised they didn't make it go upside down, go one cart upside down.
Yeah. So it didn't go upside down, which that would have been a little more intense, I guess. But it does rotate, and then you rotate like this. So
I understand why they didn't do that, because then people would be stuck upside down.
Oh, that could be pretty nasty.
Yeah, I would not be happy. Okay.
There was also one called Laughing Track, which is like an indoor wild mouse spinner, which is pretty interesting.
Did you ride their actual wild mouse that was there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it was called something like Wild Mouse.
It was called Wild Mouse.
Yeah, I did that one too. So that was pretty good.
Did you see the creepy granny bugs?
No.
It's a flat ride and they're pretty creepy.
Okay. There was one I did called the Wildcat, which is, I guess they shut it down July 31st, so no one can ride it anymore. So I think they're gonna probably maybe revamp that into a new ride. Maybe by next year or something. But that one,
Wildcat.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, so I can see why they may be wanting to change it up.
That might be the Wild Mouse. I don't know.
No, this one was like a wooden coaster. Yeah.
Oh, I know that one now. I know that one now.
And then Candymonium was good. I wish I got to do it twice, but I rode in the back and over that first hill. Just like felt you're launching out of the seat. I also did Sky Rush, was one of the most popular rides. I wish I did that one more than once. It was broken down, so I had to wait a while, but I finally got on.
It's popular because of their restraints.
Yeah,
not in a good way.
It is have seatings where it's kind of like spread out a little bit, almost like a wing. So I was on the outside edge, and I tried to have my hands up, but it was kind of some intense turns, so I felt like I was going to fall, so I held on just for a few moments. But it was pretty thrilling. The last one, I think it was called Cup Fusion. It's one of those blaster games where you're in a track, and I had to like shoot the bad candy. So that was a very interesting theme. And then I also, right outside the park was Chocolate World. So I got to take a tour of how they make chocolate, go shopping there a little bit, and kind of see a lot of stuff. So it was really cool atmosphere.
Okay. So, do you recommend this park?
Yeah, definitely. Before I went or started looking into going, I didn't realize they had such a good lineup of coasters. So they got, I think, 10 to 15 pretty good coasters, good variety of style as well. And then even the rest of the theming in the park is pretty cool. And they even have like a zoo there, some other things going on. I didn't get to do everything like that in just one day, but definitely would make a good family trip.
Nice. So, is there anything you didn't like about this park?
I think I liked everything about the park itself. Just kind of like Kings Island. I only wish the lines were a little shorter. I could have done a little bit more, but you can't complain too much about that.
Mm-hmm. So, how much, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you rate it?
I think I'll give. I didn't quite get to do every part like the zoo I mentioned, but for what I did and the variety, the overall theme, I think I'll stray from the 8s for once, and I'll give this one a 9.
Wow. Nice. Okay, so this one I'm kind of giving away the next one, but this one is Six Flags Great America and Six Flags America. We're gonna do Six Flags America after Six Flags Great America. Okay. But was there any giant difference between those two parks?
I'd say, I'm not sure, but it seems like Six Flags America might be a little bit older. I think they haven't had a ton of new rides lately. It definitely doesn't get as busy as the one in Six Flags Great America, which is kind of between Chicago and Milwaukee, where Six Flags America is kind of between Baltimore Also pretty close to DC area.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about Six Flags Great America.
Okay.
How was it?
Yeah, so this one, I actually took the train to get over there. Stayed with some relatives, went with my cousins. So I was able to, kind of the whole planes, trains, and automobiles this summer, I guess. That one was pretty good. It was, I believe I went on a Tuesday, and it was more crowded than I was expecting. Similar to Hersheypark, I did everything I wanted to exactly one time. So I definitely had to go, early, stay till close to do that. But overall, pretty crowded, but pretty good. I will say they might have been a little understaffed or something because a lot of the food was closed. Some of the lines, just there was nobody directing people to maybe go up the queues a little bit more. So it was deceptive that the line was coming out of the queue, but it was really only going just a little loop instead of through all the lines. But overall, they do have some pretty good rides, and I did enjoy the day.
Was it fun?
Yeah, so I'd say they got a pretty good top 4 or 5 coaster lineup. They do have, I think I did maybe 15, 16 rides for the day, maybe a dozen coasters. Good variety of coaster style. Again, not like crazy intensity overall, but a good variety for sure, and a good top 4 or 5, like I said.
What did you ride?
So one of my favorites was, the first one of the day was called Max Force. I believe it's the fastest acceleration in North America. It goes from, I want to say it was like 0 to 78 or 82, something like that, in like 1.8 seconds or so. So honestly, I've never quite felt a burst of speed like that. The only way I can describe it, for a split second, I thought I was going into hyperspeed in Star Wars or something. So that was pretty cool. My cousin really liked that as well.
Fun fact, the fastest ride in the world, you have to wear goggles to protect your eyes.
Really? Well, I guess once it gets so fast, it's probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this one wasn't the fastest, but just the quickest acceleration in at least North America. So other than that one, I really liked Goliath. That's considered a wooden. It's also an RMC. It's got a pretty cool first hill. Definitely has some upside down moments, which is unique for a wooden. I haven't been able to do many flying type coasters in my life, only a couple. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do the one at Carowinds because it was closed that day, but I got to do the one here that was called Superman. Mm-hmm. So that was a pretty cool. I like those different style of ride once in a while for sure.
I was confused when you said Goliath because I was kind of thinking about the one at Magic Mountain. I've never been there. I've just heard it's the best Six Flags park.
Yeah, I think so a lot of the Six Flags, I think there's some different Goliaths. A lot of them have like either a Batman or a Superman type. So I can see why that would be a little confusing because they have the same names. Mm-hmm. What were they thinking? No. So no, that one was pretty good. Then I guess it was the original Batman the Ride. I think they might have made some clones at other parks, but that's an inverted one. That was pretty good. They had another 4D spinner called the Joker. The other one I liked was called Raging Bull. This was I think, tallest and fastest, besides Max Force, steel ride. The most unique part about that, so the first hill kind of goes slight down and then into the main hill. And I was sitting in the back row, and on that little bump, I really felt like a bull was trying to kick me off that ride. So that was pretty unique.
Nice. So, what did you eat?
Yep, so we didn't get barbecue this time because a couple places we were going to get were closed. We might have got some. And then we were on the other side of the park and we didn't feel like walking back for the other place. So we got just some more typical park food, some pretzels and cheese, and some nachos. So
nice.
it was still pretty good.
Sorry.
I was surprised. It was a little bit pricey there for parking and food compared to some of these others.
So, do you recommend this park?
Yeah, they do have a pretty good coaster lineup. Great top 5, some other rides as well. And they had a blaster game, kind of like Cup Fusion at Hersheypark called Battle of Metropolis. So that was unique. And I did my first Ring of Fire there. So that one is just one of those big circles, and you go forward and then backwards. It hangs you up the top. So that.
Wait, were you talking about this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was called the Mardi Gras Hangover. So first time I got to do a ride like that. Pretty walkable overall, but pretty good size at the same time, and pretty crowded, but good variety and good layout of rides.
So, is there anything you didn't like about this park?
A little crowded for a Tuesday, at least in my opinion. And then, like I said, some of the lines were deceptive. Like for Goliath, it was coming out of the queue. I thought it'd be a long wait. Then I realized it was just way smaller than I thought, so it only took us like 20 minutes. And we do wish some of the food places were open, but maybe on a weekday.
So you could get barbecue?
Yeah.
So, overall, what do you rate it?
Even though there's a few things operation-wise that could have been better, the rides were pretty legit, so I'll give this one an 8.5.
Okay. Man, you're really liking your 8s right now.
Yeah, you'll notice on the ratings, I didn't dislike any of these, so they're all pretty good parks.
Okay, so next was Six Flags America.
Yep, so this one I ended up going on a flight credit, flew out there for one day, flew back that night. So they had about, I think, 8 or 9 coasters. Unfortunately, there was one small section of the park that was closed off just starting like the day I got there. So I didn't get to do one of them, but I did all the rest, I think, on my list for the most part.
Okay.
They had a good DC themed section of the park that was pretty cool as well.
Okay. So, was it fun?
Yeah, so this one kind of went along with what I expected, especially for middle of the week. Lines were pretty low, crowd was light, so I got to get on a lot of rides, a lot of walk-ons. Only had to be there like 6-7 hours to get through everything I wanted. And yeah, pretty fun.
Okay, so what did you eat? More barbecue?
Let's see, I think I got actually some chicken tenders this time, but it did have like a barbecue glaze.
No!
But it was actually, price-wise, it was reasonable because the pieces of chicken were really good size. I kept going back to get cups of water that they kept giving me because it was pretty hot that day, so I was appreciative of that. But yeah, and then the fries came with it, so it was actually filled me up pretty good. I was definitely satisfied.
Nice. What did you ride?
So this one, I did, like I said, 7-8 coasters. They also had a small drop tower. They had another Wild Mouse type spinner ride, so that was unique. That was the first ride I did of the day. At one point, it was really spinning me around. They have I forget the name of the style of the ride, but one where it swings back and forth while it rotates, kind of like Max Air at Cedar Point. But it was themed after Harley Quinn, but it was like a little bit bigger, and I think it went higher than the ones I was used to, so that was actually pretty thrilling. They also had one after the Joker. They had the Batwing, which is another flyer, so I got to do another flyer. I was pretty happy with that. And then their Superman ride was a hyper coaster. A little better than I thought. It's kind of a down back with some airtime hills. Again, I felt like I was flying out of my seat. And then on the big double helix at the end and out at the end and then towards when you're coming back, pretty intense curves there too. And I did a few other coasters as well. Firebird was a good one, and Roar was a good one and one. A little rough though.
Nice. So, would you recommend this park?
Yeah, it's not probably quite as thrilling as far as ride or just overall experience as the others on the list. But if you're in the area and you're looking for, a park to go to, I'd say it's still worth going to, at least for a day. You can probably do it in a day pretty easily. Not one I feel the need to go back to anytime soon, because I did pretty much everything besides just one ride. Whereas some of the others, someday maybe I'd go back once they have a few new rides, or I'm just kind of making the rotation. But yeah, I'm still glad I went.
Is there anything that you did not like about this park?
Probably just the fact that they closed that one section off, so I didn't get to do that ride. But other than that, I think everything went pretty good.
Okay, so out of 10, what would you rate this park? 1 through 10.
I'll give that one I'll give it a 7.
Not the best one you've been to.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of from what I've heard, it's not one of the most
Visited.
not much one of the most popular Six Flags. They may be putting their efforts in some other parks, but it was still, the crowd that was there, I know they all enjoyed it. So it's still worth going if you're in the area for sure.
Okay, now obviously our home park. Next we have Cedar Point. Okay, so how is Cedar Point?
Yeah, so I've gone, of course, a few times this year. I actually went yesterday. So yesterday I probably did most of the top rides. I think I did 12 things in total. Got my favorite roller coaster, Steel Vengeance, back to back. Lines were pretty light. I did pretty much all the big ones that were available, and the lines were light. Other times I've went, it was a little bit busier, but still with all they had to offer. Of course, all the roller coasters are available. They do have some good kiddie areas that my nephews got to do. And also the celebration and the parade this year was pretty good.
If Tallfield Dragster was open, would you ride it?
Yeah, I hope that reopens because I actually didn't ride it last year before it broke down or was stopped, and then it hasn't opened this year, of course. So I'm really hoping that'll be back open so I can get a few more rides on for sure.
Okay. So, was it fun?
Yeah, so I think of the few times I've gone with some relatives or even just yesterday. Very fun. I always enjoy when there's short lines like yesterday, of course, but the top 5-6 rides in the park and can certainly compete with anybody. Steel Vengeance is, like I said, my favorite. I got to do Maverick and Millennium Force and Valraven yesterday. Raptor, I did Rougarou, I did Gatekeeper, and I've done all the other ones this year. I did Gemini Magnum too, so all of them really good rides for what they are. Valraven's a good dive coaster. Millennium's always one of my favorites since it came out. And then Maverick's a really nice, kind of different style. It doesn't have to be super tall to still be super fun.
Okay, so you think it was fun?
Oh yeah.
So you basically already covered ride.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you eat?
So we actually got through the line so quick. Yesterday we didn't have to eat there, but other times, I always like going to the Melt restaurant. Earlier this year we did go to the farmhouse. That's the new area in the back. Pretty nice area in Frontier Town and pretty good food. I think when I went there last time, of course it's a mostly barbecue place. So
another thing, are you sad of Wicked Twister's removal?
Yeah, I did get to go on it a few times towards the end of last year. It was a nice, it was cool looking on the skyline, nice launch and twist. So I wish they would have been able to still keep that ride, but looks like they have some plans for that area. So let's hope the new area is pretty fun to go to next year.
That's the reason that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you recommend this park?
Yeah, probably. Maybe be a little biased being my home park, but probably my favorite park, especially if you're looking at the rides.
Okay.
And then you can't complain about, it's kind of on the peninsula with the beach there, so a lot of tourists certainly go there. I go there once in a while myself.
Is there anything you don't like about this park?
I don't think so. I mean, some people I could see wanting maybe some more trees or theming. Some things I do wish maybe they would get someday is like a dark ride or another modern wooden. But overall, they're definitely going for coasters. I know they're transitioning that a little bit now, but other than that, everything's going pretty good. And hope Dragster does open back up.
Did you ride any tall flat rides?
Tall flat rides?
Or just a flat ride in general, kind of like Matterhorn type rides?
At Cedar Point. Yeah, so I did do the Skyhawk yesterday. I don't do that one too often, but that one was definitely feels like you're like a hawk, going in to the ground there. I do enjoy Max Air when I do that one as well. And I've done Windseeker's nice to get the view. I've done that. I did that one at Kings Island and Kings Dominion as well.
Fun one.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Nice views for sure.
Nice. Do you think Cedar Point should be named Kings Island and Kings Island should be named Cedar Point?
No.
Because Kings Island's on a I mean, because Cedar Point's on a island representing area.
So maybe it should be Cedar Island.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad. But Kings Point.
And Kings Point, maybe.
Okay. So, what do you rank Cedar Point?
I'd have to give it, I've gone there a lot, but it does have my favorite coaster, Steel Vengeance, and a few other top of the line. So I think I'll give it a 9.
Nice. Man, no 10s.
10's hard to achieve.
Yeah, to be honest, they really are. Really, no park says perfect.
Yeah,
That's
right.
10. Okay, so this has been something we've been waiting for this part of the video.
Okay.
Where do you think you're going to go next?
Yeah, so I got a few in the works. Definitely looking at a couple next summer. I might even, I know we mentioned Magic Mountain. I'm thinking of maybe going there somewhat, actually kind of soon. Maybe go to Knott's Berry Farm while I'm out that way. And then another trip I'm looking at is maybe going to up to Canada's Wonderland, possibly. Maybe hitting another one along the way. And then maybe I'll make my way to Six Flags Great Adventure at some point. I know they got some pretty good rides.
And you'll ride King the Cop.
I hope so. And then the other one I may do is go down through like Holiday World, Kentucky Kingdom, and maybe make it over to another Six Flags down that way. So a lot of possibilities. Definitely looking to do, a few of those within the next few months to the next year for sure.
Well, maybe we'll have another interview soon.
Yeah, we might have to, because if I get to all those, that's going to be a lot of content.
Yeah, to be honest, it really will. We are really happy that Kyle was fine doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We are. Did you enjoy doing this?
Yeah, it was fun. Hopefully we'll get to do another one sometime.
Okay, guys. So, do you think we should just say goodbye for now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook if you want to. See you guys all later.